Have you ever felt guilty for not wanting the life everyone around you seems to be chasing? That career, the relationship, the ring, house, children, the timeline that everyone around you seems to be moving through in the same order at the same pace. And if you're not, then something must be wrong with you, right? Well, that's the message anyway, spoken or unspoken. Coming from family, from the doctors, from culture, from everyone around you moving through the same checklist without stopping to ask whether any of it was actually chosen. Something is shifting right now. More people than ever are questioning the timeline they were handed. The old blueprint is cracking. And if you're one of them, you're not late. You're actually right on time because nobody asked you if you wanted any of it. And I want to take this somewhere deeper than just permission to want a different life. Because what I've come to understand is that the life you want, whatever it looks like, was never really the point. The freedom underneath it was. Freedom isn't a circumstance. It's not the unconventional life or the traditional one. It's not the career or the lack of one, the relationship or the absence of one, or the choice of having the children or not to have them. Freedom lives in the mind, in the beliefs, in the inner world. I truly believe that if I were sitting in a jail cell right now, I would still have my complete freedom. Because freedom isn't about what's around you, it's about what's happening inside of you. The circumstances were never the trap. The belief that you had to want certain circumstances on a certain timeline in a specific order, that's where the trap lives. I spent a long time feeling guilty about not being on that timeline, feeling behind. I felt like something in me was broken because I wasn't focused on finding that right person, building the career, or having children. Everyone around my age was moving through those milestones, and I just wasn't. But then something clicked. I didn't even want what they were chasing. So why was I feeling so guilty about not having it? Because I was conditioned to believe I was supposed to want it. That wanting something different or wanting the same things but in my own time, on my own terms, wasn't a valid choice. It was just what people said when they were failing at the real thing. But I want to be clear about something. I'm not saying the traditional path isn't freedom. For someone who truly wants that life, who chooses it consciously from a place of inner clarity, that can be the most freeing choice they ever make. What I'm saying is that forcing it, chasing it out of fear, building a life that looks right from the outside because you were told you were supposed to want it, that's where the freedom disappears. Not in the circumstances, but in the belief driving them. And what I see around me, watching people chase that timeline, force a relationship, manufacture the milestone, is that when it doesn't work out, the devastation is enormous. Now think about that for a second. If it wasn't for the conditioning, if nobody had told them that this was supposed to happen by now, would it even hurt as much? The suffering isn't really about the thing they didn't get. It's about the belief that they were supposed to have it, that not having it means something is wrong with them. The conditioning created the expectation, and the expectation created the suffering. And then there's this timeline pressure about the body itself, women especially, from coming from the doctors, from the health industry, from culture, told that the clock is ticking, that the body has a deadline, that certain things become impossible after a certain point. But the inner state runs everything, including the body. The stress and fear and pressure of a timeline you never chose, that's what ages you. The belief that it's too late becomes the biology that makes it too late. I've done the inner work, release those beliefs, and my body has moved in the other direction. I feel more alive, more present, more myself than I have ever been. And what that actually feels like, living from that inner freedom, is like taking the first real breath you've ever taken. Like something that was always slightly off, finally clicking into place. Not because the external life changed dramatically, but because the inner world finally felt like it was mine. That's the place to aim for. That's the place to reach. Not a different set of circumstances, a free inner world. From that place, everything else unfolds the way it's supposed to. These are my beliefs right now, anyway, and I hold them loosely because expansion is always possible and there's always more to understand. That openness is part of the freedom, too. So if you're feeling that pressure right now, the panic of being behind, the guilt of wanting something different, or the quiet suffocation of a life that looks right but doesn't feel free, look inward. Your mind and your beliefs are what's creating the experience, not your circumstances and not your age, not the things that haven't arrived yet. Find the belief that's telling you you're trapped. Dig as deep as you have to. Because there are many reasons why your life looks and feels the way it does right now. There's a purpose and there's a reason behind it. And when you find it and turn your focus to that inner freedom, everything else begins to unfold exactly as it should. Nobody told me I was allowed to want a different kind of life, but now I'm telling you. And the life you're allowed to want, whatever it looks like from the outside, starts with the freedom on the inside. So don't go anywhere. This journey is just getting started. What's on the other side of all of this is something I couldn't have put into words back then, but I'm living it now and it's available to you too. You've been listening to Nobody Told Me, and if you made it to the end, thank you. Like, subscribe, and I'll be back with more.